Howdy. I've been making read-throughs recently and stuff. Now I thought I'm gonna share something which I did by myself, contributing to the whole. It's a text about peat in the fluctuating geologic environment and its contribution to the end of the last ice age. Content. Abstract introduction, comparison of different theories about peat and other contradictions in science. Creation and accretion, or accretion, of peat from a new perspective. Peat's active role in the environment and in the end of the last ice age. References. Keywords. Yeah, I'm still working on that. That's not finished yet. But this is at least a part of how far I got. I won't show the whole thing here. It is not a very long paper, but it's probably too long to make a read-through. Keywords: electromagnetism, sun cycles, geology, transmutation of elements, shock waves, induced currents, earth is a capacitor, amorphous and crystalline silica, easy water, zeolitic water, alkalinity, acidity. Maybe that's written wrongly, I don't know yet. Hydrogen, anion, daisy chains. There might be more coming to that too. Abstract. Peat is something most of us are familiar with, at least to some degree. It is found all over the globe and usually related to water. The origin and creation of it are not well understood, and it is classified as a geomorphological phenomena. In other words, they don't really know how it got created. The end of the last ice age seemed to have happened rather quickly in terms of melting. I think that peat might have played a crucial role in some of the melting processes due to its electromagnetic properties. Introduction. There is no meaning, only purpose. Nothing happens without a cause, and every cause has an effect. Earth provides an ever-changing environment for life in a cyclical manner. It and all the other planets with all their moons are contained within the sun's magnetosphere, or maybe it's plasmasphere. Like I said, there are still some things I'm thinking about how to write them better, and I wait for some reactions. Anyway, the sun is nowadays not only geographically the center of our solar system, but also energy-wise. This implies that it might have been different in the past. All the planets are constantly connected to the sun by interplanetary Birkeland currents. The sun, and therefore all the planets of our solar system, is constantly connected to the center of our galaxy with intergalactic Birkeland currents. Birkeland currents are strings of electricity which have many recognizable patterns, of which the most important to understand are magnetics. Every electric current has a magnetic field. Yeah, for me, field is somehow like a field, two-dimensional. So it should be somehow called sphere. That's why I wrote sphere there. But anyway, and every magnet has electric currents flowing around and through it, the magnetic flux. Every living being is every living being is electromagnetic by nature, and every process can be explained with electromagnetism. It is scalable from the atomic realm up to the cosmic size. Peat or torf is known to most people around the world. It can be found almost on every continent on Earth. Peatlands, which also includes mires, bogs, muskox, moors, are easily recognizable since they have a distinct look, as well as from the ground level as from above. They often have a brownish or reddish color and water bodies. It has been used by people for centuries in different ways. Some preserved their food in it, others used it for leather processing, and people were even buried in it. Nowadays, peat is used in different ways, which is mostly by the industrial sector. Two main uses make it still somewhat important also for modern society. One is through burning it for electricity production or as a fertilizer in agriculture. The use of peat for industrial purposes is not without contradiction to its impact on the environment. Peatlands are usually wetlands, which means they have to be drained in order to make it accessible for machines. This includes deforestation, the excavation of drainage channels, construction of roads and other facilities. Flora and fauna will suffer greatly. When water bodies are getting altered artificially, usually the influence of these changes come to light in extreme conditions such as drought or flood conditions. In dry conditions, peat can get lifted aloft and produce problems in respiratory systems of the population in the vicinity. Another aspect of dried out peatlands, either artificially or naturally, is the danger of long-lasting subsurface fires. There are different kinds of peatlands, but their origin or forming process remain largely unknown. It is believed that peat accumulates very slowly over a long time period, approximately 1 millimeter per year. And this kind of explanation fits perfectly into the uniformitarianismic paradigm, where everything happens very slowly and gradually. So slow that it is almost impossible to see or even to reproduce a theory in a laboratory in order to prove or disprove the theory. It is impossible to recreate a scientific laboratory experiment which lasts, for example, 5,432 years. Totally impossible. Nonetheless, the use of very long timescales in science is rather common and used in different branches of mainstream science such as geology and cosmology. The principle of using time as a tool of obscuration is quite clever, but it will never lead to truth, because it is based on ignorance. Furthermore, certain agreements made upon scientific consensus, which do not allow any new information to penetrate into the already agreed theory, gatekeepers in peer-reviewing processes make sure that nothing will enter the established paradigm, that nothing new will enter the established paradigm. It is ignorance towards new perspective, and ignorance is the opposite of nescience, the very word from which the word science is derived from. This alone is very ironic by itself, but the reason for this is quite likely the dogmatization and commercialization of science. In other words, science doesn't search for the ultimate truth. Its goal is ultimate profit, assure funding, and therefore is keen to keep all the mysteries alive, from whomst the biggest money is expected through political agendas. And these processes of scientific agreement on theories which are based more on assumptions than on actual facts, no reproduction in laboratories, has no or very few repetitive patterns, and also often lacks the ability of prediction, is known as a belief system. The theory falls apart at the moment it is not believed in anymore. Facts don't care about anyone's beliefs nor feelings. They stand all on their own. In this paper, I bring forward a new theory of peat, its creation and role in its, and therefore also our environment. I live in Finland, the peat-richest country in the world. The Finnish name of Finland is Suomi. Suo means swamp, wetland, peatland. Chemical analysis and economic calculations about peat. No. So it seems to be a place which identifies itself with it. Finland. The internet is full of texts, chemical analysis and economic calculations about peat. It also became part of the climate change conversation as a source of CO2. You can find really accurate maps and all sorts of things related to peat. Many scientific papers have been written about the topic, but nowhere is explained how exactly it came into existence. It remains also rather unclear what it is, in terms of biology and or geology. So it is seen as a geomorphological phenomenon, quite much like metamorphosed rock. It's just there, and people figured out how to make use of it. We know quite accurately what it is made of, that there are differences between different peatlands. A holistic explanation of what it is missing. It remains a geomorphological phenomenon, which might sound very scientific, but the words used to describe it reveal also, there's a mistake, this S is too much, reveal also that it isn't understood. The only agreed consensus about it is that it is a phenomenon. Several questions about peat must be asked. What is it? Where did it come from? How did it form? Why is something like peat found on Earth? Could its dielectric properties have an influence on its environment? Why is it dielectric in the first place? Are there indications of peat interacting with its environment? The end of the last ice age, approximately 12,000 years ago, was a very significant event. It made it possible for life to spread all over the globe again. Life didn't disappear during the ice age. It got reduced in quantity and got confined in places where it was possible to survive. Several theories exist about how the great melting occurred. They agree more or less on one specific topic, which is that the melting seems to have happened rather quickly. What else than the sun could have provided the energy for it? The question remains of how it happened. The albedo effect of white surfaces, such as of snow and ice, pose somewhat of a problem. Geothermal heat has to be taken into consideration. It is part of volcanism. This, on the other hand, implies yet another mystery. How is the heat beneath our feet produced? Some propose that Earth's core is a molten ball of iron and the heat is produced by nuclear processes due to the immense pressure. How is it then possible that Earth's thermosphere, which starts about 85 kilometers over the surface of Earth and extends to about 500 kilometers altitude, can exhibit temperatures of 2000 degrees Celsius or more, if the heat of Earth is supposedly to come from its core? Something really doesn't match up in many common things still taught in school. The following text tries to bring some new viewpoints to this topic in a fresh way. Common sense, a holistic view, and interdisciplinary scientific evidence are crucial points of attitude, which will guide us throughout this text. No, I won't read any more, but I just wanted to show you that there hasn't been any reference yet there. But here's the reference list. Number 1, first reference, and then we go down and we have 133 references. And of course, I remembered my friends from the University of Eastern Finland. But anyway, I try to contribute to the whole. There are so many mysteries still on Earth. And let's see what's going to happen to this text. Maybe someone comes forth and explains me that why that's bogus. Or maybe there are some people which in a way agree with that, and so it's still under construction. Let's see. So I do more than just making every now and then a YouTube video about some earthquakes. But anyway, I leave it here. There is no link to that, because yeah, it's not ready yet. It's not published anywhere. It's not, it's under construction. This is my stuff. If anyone wants to know more about it, ask me. But yes, it's not ready yet. Now, when I made this little read-through, I found at least 2 little mistakes. There might be many others like these kind of little mistakes, but let's see. Contributing to the whole. Yes. Thanks. Bye.